Thank you to the EA Sports Game Changer program for flying me out to Orlando and allowing me to capture some early Madden 20 gameplay for you guys. Today we will simulate the 2019 NFL season in Madden 20's franchise mode. We'll see who made the Super Bowl and play that Super Bowl 54 matchup, which happens to be the New Orleans Saints versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. We'll get more into that surprising matchup when we get into the game later on in the video. First things first though, let's check out the end of season awards, the stats, the records, all that good stuff. As we check the MVP race, your MVP, ladies and gentlemen, is Marcus Mariota, leading the 7-9 Tennessee Titans. Interesting. Baker Mayfield runner-up. We'll go through all the AFC awards, then the NFC awards, then we'll check the stats, the records, and the playoff battles, see how the playoffs shook down. As you see, Hollywood Brown winning that Offensive Rookie of the Year, Devin Bush, Defensive Rookie of the Year in the AFC, Baker Mayfield getting the best quarterback. We have Mark Ingram getting best running back on the Baltimore Ravens, which is pretty interesting. I'll go through these menus pretty fast. At any point, if you guys want to slow the video down or pause the video to read through things more clearly, you can definitely do that. But for now, just to speed things up, we'll go through the menus as quickly as possible. So you can definitely still get some wild results when you simulate a season in franchise mode in this year's installment of Madden. We do have, you know, Mitch Trubisky fourth in the MVP race, which is definitely interesting. Maybe Trubisky's taking the next step. Blake Martinez second in Defensive Player of the Year. That's definitely not one you'd expect. Khalil Mack winning Defensive Player of the Year, though, definitely something that you can see and nod your head like, yeah, I agree with that. Julio Jones, the best receiver. Yeah, that sounds about right. David Bakhtiari, best offensive lineman. I'm cool with that. Aaron Donald, best defensive lineman, to be expected. Aqib Talib winning best defensive back of the year. That's a little bit interesting. Graham Gano winning best kicker. He might as well win best kicker after he hit that 63-yard field goal on the Giants to beat them last year. That still went over my heart a little bit. So now let's go through some stats. We'll start off with the quarterbacks, where it looks like Matty Ice leading the NFL in passing yards. So as you go through all these stats and all that, keep in mind that, you know, I don't know who got injured when we simulated this season since injuries were on, so that could have affected some players' stats, brought them down in some way. As we look at Keenan Allen leading the NFL in receiving yards this season. It wasn't even close. He was like almost 200 yards up. And DJ Moore leading the league in touchdown catches, even though he didn't get that many receiving yards. So DJ Moore, a red zone specialist. That's definitely interesting. CJ Mosley proving why he won Defensive Player of the Year in the AFC, because he led the NFL in tackles. Tackle for loss went to JJ Watt with 22 of them. The leader in sacks, Myles Garrett with 16.5. You had Mack, Von Miller, the usual suspects on top. Interceptions, keeps the lead. That's why he was the best defensive back, because he has 7 interceptions. So now let's check out these records. I'm very curious to wonder how the Jacksonville Jaguars made it as far as they did. First, we start off with the AFC North, where the Browns won. The Ravens were a wild card team. You had the Jaguars going 13-3. And how about the AFC East, where the New England Patriots straight up missed the playoffs? They do not win the East. It goes to the Buffalo Bills. In the NFC East, you had madness there as well. You had the New York Giants coming out on top. So yeah, you can definitely still get some pretty interesting results. As we go to wildcard weekend, you see the 49ers beating the Giants. You had the Chiefs in wildcard weekend. The Saints, who did make it to the Super Bowl, they just squeaked out a game against the Green Bay Packers. So I actually picked the 49ers when I simulated this season. I didn't do anything with the Niners franchise. I just picked a random team that I didn't think would make the playoffs. Not only did the Niners make the playoffs, they made it to the NFC Championship game before being blown out by the New Orleans Saints. The Jaguars definitely had a tough road, and I ended up just squeaking out a game against the Cleveland Browns, who had a stacked team. You saw Garrett, Baker Mayfield, and Denzel Ward all coming up on top in trophy races. And at the end of the day, it's time to play Super Bowl 54. Jaguars versus Saints. I gave Chewbacca, I'll leave his link in the description, a fellow YouTuber, the choice of what team he wanted to pick, and he definitely picked the New Orleans Saints, so he left me with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'll see what I can do with Nick Foles, a former Super Bowl MVP and Super Bowl champion with the Philadelphia Eagles. I guess Nick Foles is just a winner. That's why the Jaguars are doing so well this season. We'll see if that quarterback change really can help this Jaguars team take that next step. They were close a couple of years ago. They nearly beat the Patriots. They had the lead in that AFC Championship game, so it's not completely out of the ordinary, but still, this Jaguars in the Super Bowl. very surprising. The Saints, not so much. They're a preseason favorite to make the Super Bowl. Nearly made it last season. And if not for a botched PI call, which we won't get too into, could have been in it last year. So here is Drew Brees on the opening drive with some protection against that top Jaguars front four. That'll buy him the time to find Ted Ginn. That'll be a first down and a pretty good start to the drive, which nearly did end on that 3rd down and 13, but Brees with the poise hitting Meredith. Now on the RPO, it's going to be a screen pass to Ginn. We make a beautiful play with DJ Hayden coming across the field. So that'll bring up a 3rd down and 6. Can Brees come up clutch on 3rd down once more? Yes, he can. We send the blitz, but it doesn't quite get home as quickly as we like, and that allows Michael Thomas to burn the man coverage. As you see Calais Campbell shoot the gap. As Chewy gets in the red zone, he is out the red zone. And Calais Campbell's going to push him back again. Calais Campbell taking over this drive. It's now 3rd down and 17, and you definitely don't want to make a mistake in this situation. So Chewy just dumps it down to Meredith. We get the big hit there, and that'll lead to Will Lutz and the field goal unit taking the field and putting up the first points on the board in Super Bowl 54, and what is definitely, like I said, a pretty shocking matchup, as I tried to lateral the ball right there. That's what that was. By the way, as we go RPO on our first offensive play, Nick Foles, of course, made that RPO famous. I mean, the Eagles in general made that RPO pretty famous, and now teams run it all the time in the league. So it's great to see the RPO in Madden 20, and not just in Madden 20, but very effective in Madden 20. Here, 2nd down 21, not much place to run the RPO, so we'll just try to come out of passing play. We actually run for 9 yards with Nick Foles. That might be a career high for Nick Foles. Still though, 3rd down and 12. We gotta pass this ball, looking for Pryor and nearly getting Pryor. I mean, we gave Pryor a chance to make the catch, but in traffic, Terrell Pryor will not come up with that. So we punt the ball away to Drew Brees in the offense, who looked pretty good on the opening drive. So yeah, I would have definitely preferred a better start, and maybe preferred that a team that wasn't the Jacksonville Jaguars, but their strength is on the defensive side of the ball, so hopefully we could eventually slow down this high-powered Saints offense with the like of Kamara, who's trying to get that screen pass that's nearly intercepted by Big Campbell. You got Michael Thomas out there, Thomas making this catch, and of course, he got Teron Armstead, one of the best left tackles in the game. He's got a superstar ability of his own. I believe it's secure pass blocker, as Brees with the perfect pass, middle of the field to Jared Cook, the new tight end in the Big Easy, as Brees is sacked by Ngakoue. This Jaguars defensive line is definitely their strength. You got Ngakoue, you have Calais Campbell, as we've seen him make multiple game-breaking plays, and then you have Josh Allen with a superstar ability, which I'll get into just a second, cause that's an interception in the back of the end zone by A.J. Boye, one-handed, coming up with that catch as we pump fake Chewbacca's user of the Mario Davis way upfield. That'll give Chris Conley the space to get a decent gain, and he makes it even better with the juke move. Calais Campbell once again making that play happen by forcing the pressure on Brees. He tried to get it off. Now here we are running the 2-minute drill, running that hurry up, and you guys saw the 8-second runoff. So instead of having the animation where everybody gets to the line of scrimmage and then you hike the ball, that whole animation is just simulated, so you just get to the action faster. So you definitely have to keep your eye on that as you run hurry up, and especially during a 2-minute drill, because it'll go by quicker than you think. So yeah, definitely pay attention to the clock, especially when you're in the 2-minute drill. As we handed off to Leonard Fournette, it was an RPO that we ran there. We handed the ball to Fournette since Chewy came out in a softbox. We're going to call hurry up. You see that 7-second runoff, and we're going to run the same exact play and hand it off to Fournette again, and Leonard Fournette with back-to-back good gains on the ground, trucking Von Bell to the 14-yard line. RPO once again out of the timeout. This time it's a passing play to O'Shaughnessy, who is in the end zone and has given the Jaguars the lead in Super Bowl 54 over the Saints. The fact that the Jaguars are in the Super Bowl is stunning. Hashtag only in Madden, and we have the lead on top of that. About to head into the locker room and maybe a chance to extend the lead for us, because Chewy makes a grave mistake throwing it to AJ Boye for the 2nd time in this game, and here's Keelan Cole making the catch. Unfortunately for us, that's going to cost us our final timeout, and as we are about to learn, we are borderline field goal range for Josh Lambo, and just short. If we kick it full power, it looks like we're going to hit the crossbar. So what I'm actually about to do here is run a fake. I just want to throw this ball out of bounds with Lambo, but O'Shaughnessy actually gets open as Cameron Jordan bites down, and unfortunately, O'Shaughnessy didn't get both feet in bounds. So even though it was a good throw by the kicker, we just had to go for the Hail Mary on the final play of the first half, and we're not even going to get it off because Cameron Jordan is a beast, and he gets his second sack of the first half. So we start second half with the ball, and as we start our first drive here, I want to talk to you guys about the RPO specifically in Madden 20. A very highly requested feature the last couple of years as NFL teams have ran them more often, especially the Philadelphia Eagles during their Super Bowl run with Nick Foles at the helm, which is partially why we're really mixing in the RPOs in the game plan today as we pump fake Chewy's user out the way once again and get Keelan Cole, I believe, open downfield. You see, we had the bubble screen open there. I probably should have thrown that bubble screen. And you can see these RPOs in many different ways in the game, not just like a slant route or something. Some of these RPO plays are very cleverly designed. You see, we can either hand it off or throw that screen. You see the bubble screen out of formations like trips. You see this RPO that we ran a couple of times where you have the slant and you have the flat route underneath. So if you flip through playbooks, flip through formations, you can find RPOs that you like and use them effectively, build them into your scheme. It can make your offense that much more deadly in Madden 20. So you really want to take advantage of RPOs as much as you can. You saw we actually got an illegal lineman downfield penalty during one of those RPOs, and that will trigger if any of your linemen blocking are more than 1 yard downfield while triggering in a block. That's an illegal lineman downfield in the NFL. It's going to be like that in the game. As we had Chris Conley for the first down, he stays in bounds, is able to get in the end zone and extend our lead over the Saints to 11 points late in the third quarter. So just to drive the point home to RPOs, you have to make those reads very quickly. It's more so than anything else a pre-snap read, whether you plan on handing the ball off or throwing the ball, depending on the way you see the defense looking. You really have 1, if not max 2 seconds to make that decision. Otherwise, the penalty will trigger. So it's a little bit of a learning curve to try to perfect that timing and perfect those reads. It's definitely effective though. So you want to run RPOs as much as you possibly, well, as much as you possibly can, but you want to mix them into your game plan. Find formations with them, and like, you know, there's a lot of different RPOs. Like I said, you got bubble screens, you got wide receiver screens, you got, you know, fake handoffs, you got the bubble screen that we ran with the running back in motion out there, like kind of an orbit screen, and it's just a lot built into RPOs, and it's a lot of fun. Like I really like them personally, and I'm sure everybody else will like them as you get into the game. So we end up stopping Chewy's offense once again. This Jaguars defense has really come alive after that opening drive. It was really that interception by AJ Boye that changed the tide of this game, because the Saints had the ball up by 3 in the red zone, and then he made that mistake throwing it. Boye made the one-handed catch, and it's been all Jacksonville Jaguars from there. 3rd down and 8. Foles just getting it off to Keelan Cole, and Cole is going to make the tight catch with Von Bell draping down his neck. We come up with the big 3rd down conversion, and that'll allow us to chew more clock as we are going to run a fake. Multiple people in motion. One of the new things about Madden 20, you got all wide receivers and running backs across the formation. It's so tricky. It's so hard to keep up with. And here's an RPO on 3rd down that's going to work. Terrell Pryor with the reception. And you see Chewy biting down with his user defender thinking it's a run. But you can't just assume every running play is actually a run in Madden 20. Instead of just shooting that gap with your middle linebacker as soon as possible, I got him to bite there. That was the perfect play call. And you saw the RPO play that I called was basically a stick play. We had like, what, 4 people running a route there? It was stick with a running play built into it. So like I said, if you search through formations, you can find some really innovative RPOs and use them to your advantage. And a big 3rd down conversion for us, a 3rd down and 9 there. And, you know, you got to be more disciplined as a user defender and expect those RPOs, whether it's going to be, you know, a stick route in the middle, a slant route coming across the field, a bubble screen outside. It's gonna hurt your head as a defender trying to figure out what the offense is doing, but it's that chess game that happens in the NFL that has been brought to the game of Madden, and we have been using it to our advantage to give us a 14-point lead late in the going, under a minute to go. The Saints in a really dire desperation situation here. Drew Brees, just under 30 seconds to go, under pressure. He's going to get the pass off to Cameron Meredith and get out of bounds to stop the clock, but he needs 2 touchdowns, and he hasn't scored a touchdown all game. It's one thing to be down 14 points. It's another thing to be down 14 points when you haven't scored a touchdown all game, which is the situation Breeze and the offense are in, trying to give Ginn a chance to get that ball, and it'll be incomplete. We nearly get the interception. 2nd down and 10. Immediately up the middle, we get the sack, and it's actually going to be the last play of the game. Jake Ryan is going to end Super Bowl 54 because the runoff time it takes to get the offense back to the line of scrimmage will get the clock to 000, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are your Super Bowl Bowl 54 champions. Doug Marrone and Nick Foles are going to be hoisting the Lombardi trophy in stunning fashion. Hashtag only in Madden. So if you guys are here to see if there is a new Super Bowl celebration added to Madden 20, if they got you all sorts of new hype animations, this is what we got. Yeah, it's about the same. You still see, you know, the opposing team, they're not too happy. They lost the Super Bowl. Sportsmanship being shown. You'll see the Super Bowl stage being displayed in just a moment. First things first, we got to find out who the MVP is, which so happens to be AJ Boye. 2 interceptions in the game. I've noticed that they've given defensive backs or whoever gets interceptions in the game defense or MVP a lot more often than they should, even though Boye had a great game. Like, Nick Foles had a perfect quarterback rating, as you guys will see in the stats. So, yeah. Well, maybe they'll adjust that. Maybe not. Either way, here's the final piece of the celebration. So, hope you guys leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed the gameplay. If you guys enjoyed the franchise simulation. You guys learned anything about Madden 20. If you guys want to keep up with more Madden 20 early content, I'll be uploading a lot more on the channel. And especially once EA Access does come out, we'll be going, you know, ham uploading Madden 20 videos before that full launch date of August 2nd. So, here you see Nick Foles with that perfect quarterback rating. One more time, leave a like a video if you guys enjoyed it. Subscribe for more Madden 20 gameplays. Thank you guys for stopping by and showing love to this video, and I will catch you guys next time.